At last, it's about time we get some real character development in this show. 'Cause I have to say, this was dragging along a far too bit long. I don't know what I just said back there, but yes. Continuing on with Angels of Death, I have to say this episode was finally a true character-driven episode between Rachel, but mostly Zach. Heck, I even admit from me actually kind of liking Kathy this time in this episode. It's from period to last episode, I was saying how she was too one-dimensional, and she still is, but thanks to Kathy, we're actually getting some more insight into these two characters. So it's about time someone give us a freaking bone. So yeah, thank you, Kathy. Because of that, you get some bonus points. Congratulations. So anyways, this episode of Angels of Death, Rachel shows her usefulness a lot. You know, she's extremely smart, logical, and she's just great. Everything that Zach isn't, she is. And everything that she is, Zach isn't. You know, back and forth, the vice versa in a way. So, these two together in their chemistry is the reason why this show works so well, including the game as well. I've yet to see, but so far everything's been going well between the two. You know, despite how repetitive it is, even Zach pointed out how she is like a broken record. She keeps saying the same things over and over again, and she has an emotionless look. Now, a lot of people may see this as poor and terrible, but what if it happens to serve the plot of the story? What happens if that's the case? As we all see, Rachel has this plain personality, but yet she repeats herself just like a doll. So something here is going on, probably regarding Rachel's past, of how she acts. Just think about it, you know, she's everything like a doll is. She has beautiful eyes, long hair, she's kind of pale skin. She doesn't show much emotion, but only keeps one facial expression, just like a doll. And some dolls, when you do press the doll, whether it's a string doll or when you just press a button on a doll, it will usually say the same thing over and over again. It doesn't take in anything else. So in a way, Rachel is a perfect doll. So yes, a lot of anime does this where you have this boring character of no personality whatsoever and give them a crappy excuse. But in a way, this one symbolizes Rachel as herself as a doll, and there must be a reason for this as well. For her to be cold and heartless and not even caring for her own life. The fact is, why does she even have the desire to die in the first place, let alone by Zack as well? Something's going on here. Especially given the facts that how Kathy kept pointing out how Zack is probably, are you sure you're not a tool? So Zach can't stand the word tool. It's one of the things he can't stand right next to liars. And thanks to this episode, we get to see some backstory. As we all know, Zach was raised by the people that took him in, and how these are bad people. I mean, these are some one-dimensional bad people. But then yet again, you do have bad people like this in real life. They have no regard to the person they're taking care of. They're just there to take the money of the child they adopted. And a lot of people find loopholes through the adoption system. So because of that, it's just completely terrible. That's how some of these mass murderers and psychopaths in real life come to be, because of terrible upbringing such as this. So despite how much society condemns these people, I myself kind of have some sympathy for these monsters because of what happened. It's just a monster who was raised by monsters, and because of that, this situation happened. As we can see, especially how Kathy was slowly like breaking down Zach's freaking psyche, how just setting up the riddles for them. Zach, as we all know, is dumb. The guy is just completely stupid, especially in the first part of this episode, how he just broke the card key, he broke the mask, he put the double dose of whatever this was inside those syringes into him. He doesn't think, and it's because, once again, his upbringing. This guy wasn't raised to learn any source of knowledge. He can't read, he probably can't even do math, or let alone write. It's because the people who adopted him never taught him that. They thought the only thing he was good for was doing the dirty work behind him, as sort of say things dying. The orphanage, his foster parents would tell him to go bury in the backyard, saying that's the only thing he's good at. And I guess in a way made him angry, probably turned him to a murderer. There's probably more to the story as it goes along, but I'm just glad we're giving this much of info. Besides that, let's also talk about Rachel. I didn't know I talked about Rachel a while back. Let's talk about some more. She's emotionless, but yet she's smart, cunning, and very logical. No matter what happens to her, she doesn't seem to be shocked or surprised. But in fact, most simplest things are things that surprise her. So the question is why? Especially how Kathy sees her talking to Zach, saying, "Are you sure you're not the tool being used?" In a way, this could be Rachel using Zach for some alternative motive, but we, the viewer, don't know, including Zach himself. So that made me thinking, what if Rachel, as we all know, is a psychopath? Zach is a guy who's emotionally scarred because of his upbringing. Rachel, however, is probably a pure out psychopath. She doesn't flinches when things happen, and even when she herself dies, she doesn't really care. In fact, that's her biggest desire. So more than anything, Rachel's past probably has something to do with this. Rachel probably might be something that she herself don't remember, or she's hiding it from Zach. I don't know. Something's going on with Rachel. No matter how monstrous Zach is, he still has some humanity inside him. In fact, if it wasn't for a promise that Zach had, who knows if Rachel had alternate motives, she would have killed Zach or not even care in a way. So, I'm trying to say here is that Rachel is probably a lot more than she lets on. That's what I'm saying. It's how she might be the true monster behind this during upbringings. We don't know yet. We don't know much of Rachel's backstory just yet. I believe in what we will see later in the future will more likely shock us, and I hope so, because this build-up is killing me. I just have to admit that it's freaking literally breaking me down because I am so crazy to find out what's going behind these two, because these two have such good chemistry together. Zach gets angry, agitated. He shows some sympathy here and there, while Rachel is the girl you probably want to protect in real life, but then again, she probably really won't give a crap about you because you won't give her what she wants. But yet, she's very logical and she won't flinch to things. So, if anything, I guess more people would realistically be afraid of Zach, but story point, Rachel probably could be the bigger monster, is all I'm trying to say. Zach's up in front of personal things, he doesn't hide anything whatsoever. This is who he is. He'll tell you to meet him where he's at. But Rachel, on the other hand, is completely different. So yes, these two compare and contrast together so well in ways like they need each other in order to survive this thing. The question is how come Kathy knows so much about Zach, especially with the dollhouse demonstration? How she knows so much personal information. Maybe these people are investigators. It's like Saul in a way. They investigate the people they capture down to a T. They bring them inside of a place and make them go through a lot of riddles for them to learn their lesson. Who knows? But in a way, I say this is anime Saul. Definitely anime Saul. Some people would say it could be like in a way like Danganronpa, but no. In Danganronpa, you suffer all the way to the end. When you get execution time, it's execution time. There's no way out of it compared to this show right here. So yeah, that's all I got for today's episode of Angels of Death. What do you expect out of this show, really? Who is the true mastermind? What is going on? What is the point of all this in the first place? And what is Rachel's backstory? These are many questions and more I hope we soon find out in later episodes. So far, things have been interesting in this episode compared to the other episodes. This actually might be, so far, the best episode for the great character development we got out of it. And it's actually thanks to Kathy, the character I was completely dogging on from last review. So, irony. So anyways, that's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon so every time I upload, you get notified. Anyways, I've been Madcrownxox, and I'm signing out. Have a good one, guys.